Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome. It is Anna, Alchemist of the Arts, and we're here to do a reading today. A very important reading. It feels I'm doing this just before the forthcoming new moon. However, it is a timeless reading. It's important for me as a reader to work with the current energies, but I firmly believe these messages will come through at the right time. And if they're appearing on your feed at any point, it could be the right time for you to hear that specific message. So, the focus of this reading today is going to be asking what you need to hear right now. Messages from the universe. It's very open-ended, so anything can come through. If you have a specific question or area of life on your mind at the moment that you would like guidance on, think of that before making your pile selection, as that could really help you to get a more tailored answer for a specific question or problem. If you are just looking for more general guidance and what you need to know, then just take as long as you need. Take a really deep breath and just see whichever pile is calling to you. We have a beautiful oracle deck here today. We have the Folk Tales Oracle, and the artwork is simply beautiful. So we have 3 piles to choose from. We have pile number 1, Tides, pile number 2, Within, and pile number 3, Transformation. Now, you can choose your reading on any number of factors specific to you, whether that is the artwork itself, something about the imagery, the words, maybe a key symbol or one of the animals. Whatever is most relevant to you, just go with that, whether it's your gut feeling. Use your intuition. You might feel called to multiple piles, you might feel called to just one pile, or there could be multiple messages. And it's really important to remember that not every message might be for you as an individual. So if it doesn't feel right, if you don't like the message, you have free will and you can leave that, and that's absolutely okay. And then, just as a kind of public service reminder, all of my official links and information are in the description box below, along with the timestamps. So if for any reason you'd like to look at my artwork, the things that I create, or personal readings, all of those are available in my stores, and they're only my website and Etsy that I sell from. So if anyone approaches you for any reason, trying to get you to send them money or to buy products or services from anywhere else, it isn't me. So please be mindful of that and help to keep yourself safe as much as we try to keep you safe as readers. So with that in mind, I'm going to go into these readings now, and I will see you at your piles using the timestamps below. Hello, pile number 1. Sorry for wobbling the camera. So if you were called to this card today, the symbolism is beautiful. It's these beautiful seals with a mermaid, and the word is tides. Now, this very much reminds me of going with the flow, of being in a flow state energy, which is quite peaceful. It recognizes that can be chaos around us, that there can be situations beyond our control. And for me, being in that state of flow is recognizing that tides and currents can change. There can be storms and tempests all around us. And sometimes the only thing we can do is call ourselves back to a sense of peace, a sense of inner calm, to weather the storms no matter what happens. So we're going to do runes. Now, these can be a little bit noisy. So if you're wearing headphones or you have very sensitive hearing, you might want to pause the reading just for a moment, or just mute it, because this can be a little bit loud. And then, as always, I'm going to take anything that lands face down, and I'm going to remove it because I'm not going to use it for the purpose of this reading. And I'm going to arrange these into a grid that makes the most sense to me as a reader, which basically means I put them in an order of a sequence for me to read. Now I'm going to move your Tides card here to the side, and I might just adjust the lighting so that you can see all of these runes, because I appreciate there isn't much contrast between them and the table. Okay, let's see. Hopefully you can see that okay. Okay, so the first rune out here is Hagelas. And speaking of changing tides and storms and tempests, Hagelas could most definitely be a strong indication that you have been going through something right now. You could have been going through some very difficult situations, circumstances, life changes, things that have been perhaps unexpected. And what we have here is this might sound a bit cold, and I don't want it to be, but this is, messages from the universe. What does the universe need you to know right now? There have been changes that have been necessary for your growth within Vaz here. There has been this potential for a new beginning, and actually with Savila and Athala to claim the sense of destined self, to claim the sense of who you are due to become. And it feels like there's a very strong weight of family resting upon your shoulders. And this could definitely be a different weight for everybody. But here, Asala speaks of inheritance. And when I think of the runes, I don't just look at the literal meaning for divination purposes in the wider context of the reading. I look at the different ways the runes interact. And this is saying to me, there is this sense of family, of kinship, that feels like it's weighing on your shoulders. I feel like you have got something that you want to prove to somebody, is the message that's coming through. Something that you want to prove, or a way in which you want to prove it, the way in which it's like you want to show somebody, and I feel like you have been, it feels like, because we have Evas beneath, family feels really important to you. And it could have been that there have been changes within family. There could have been, for some of you, a shift in energy as you've perhaps embarked upon a new relationship. And that could be something coming in actually as well. Sorry, I was just looking at the later runes to see where we're progressing with this. And actually, for some of you, if you've been very, very focused on life, on family, or on what you were building in terms of a legacy with the theme of Athala here, you could actually be having somebody new come into your life. And it feels like you've been really focused on the physical, on your physical life, because I feel like there's been a lot of things going on. Perhaps you've had to fight a lot of fires and things haven't necessarily gone the way that you'd hoped or wanted or intended. And instead of being able to make what you feel is progress forwards towards your goals, towards what it is that you wanted to do, you've had to keep spinning the plates. You've had to just keep moving forwards and dealing with all of these fires that have popped up. And it could have been if you were looking after parents or children, or for some of you, you could be teaching, or I'm really getting strongly, it's like there's a sense of acquired family, something that you've chosen to be responsible for through love, that might not necessarily be blood family, but is family to you, which is equally as valid and important. I just want to say that. As equally family. There is a sense of something that you have taken on board that really truly matters to you. This is something that's just woven into the fiber of your being. So you've been really focused on that and dealing with a lot of chaos, trying to sort things out. It could have been a time where, with Wunyo in the reverse here, you could have been working hard and actually not feeling very fulfilled in certain aspects. There could have been a lot of stress that's really felt heavy upon you, but you've felt like you've just needed to do things. And actually what I see here is, in some way, there is a new partnership, a new relationship. This doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be a friend, it could be a partner, it could be a new person that you were employing to delegate to be quite honest with you. That's going to be for some of you, not for everyone, that feels like they're coming in. And with Urus here, there is this sense of finally letting go of some of the resistance to allowing anybody else in to help. Finally letting go of some of the resistance and going, no, do you know what? I'm just going to accept this. I'm just going to ask for help. I'm just going to let this person in, or I'm just going to flow with this back to tides. And it feels like this becomes a very calming, peaceful and pleasurable influence in your life. And there is a lot of love here. And for some of you, one of the big messages here, if you've been working with a lot of difficult challenges, you could be very, very good at overcoming them, or very, very good at being strong and just going through these processes, and how hard things have been for you to just keep going, to just keep working or taking care of people or working on yourself and growing and doing the best that you can. And you've really consciously been working on creating a better life, new possibilities, new opportunities, and something that reaches far beyond just you. This is with Athala here. There is this deep sense of legacy, and legacy is the word that keeps coming through. So this feels like something you are wanting to create for the good of your entire ancestral line. You might not think of it that way at all. It might just be on a more personal level that you want to create something that has an impact on the wider world around you. You want to be that change, because we could have a sense of, like disruptor energy here, but in a positive sense, because we have Sovila with Ingvaz and Hagalaz. So there is this sense of the challenges that have come into your life, though you've had to endure some very difficult times. The universe wants to reassure you here that it has been a catalyst for creating this long-lasting legacy. And actually, at this time, even though you might feel a little bit disconnected, maybe disconnected from your spiritual self, or not fully feeling in that frame of mind, maybe you have been pulled away slightly from some of your usual practices, or the way you'd like to spend your time or express yourself, or just the things that you would do if there was less chaotic force. You were being reminded that you are the depths of everything within you. You are the depths and connected to everything within you. We have Ayvaz here, which connects us to our sense of inner polarity. There is a cycle here that's going to give you the opportunity to experience so much more love and joy and fulfillment. There is great gifts in this partnership that's coming into your life. A message that perhaps it's time to be less stubborn, or to lower the walls a little bit if you've been very guarded about letting anyone else in, particularly if that means that they I want to say this in a way that doesn't sound self-serving, because we don't just let people into our lives to help us, but there is a very strong sense here that there is a connection of somebody coming into your life that is going to enrich you, that's going to help you. And they could help you by helping you see your inner polarity. Some people come into our lives as mirrors to reflect back to us parts of ourselves that we don't necessarily want to see, or even our best qualities. And sometimes the most challenging experiences teach us the most vital lessons about who we are. But also, with Dagas and Ivars here, there is this sense of being able to find that inner stability, finding and acknowledging our own cycles and the ways in which we deal with things, how we deal with stress, how we deal with difficult times, and how potentially we allow things to stop us from moving forwards. Perhaps if we get stuck in this feeling of, I need to do this, or I have to do it by myself, I can't ask anyone else for help, I just have to do this, I just have to keep going. When actually, one of the most powerful things we can do sometimes is recognize how other people can be a really powerful force for helping us within our lives. So there is a sense of benefit of community or partnership. And it's not a self-serving benefit, it's a mutual benefit, but it's something that it feels like delegation is going to help you enrich not just yourself, but everything that you've been working on and creating. For some of you, it could definitely be a romantic partnership that is coming into your life that brings with it a sense of levity. It teaches you how to have fun again. And it feels like these experiences are going to be the tipping point. That could also be a friend, I might add. If you're already in a loving romantic, connection, or you're married, whichever way, this could be somebody that comes into your life. And for some of you, unexpectedly, this could be a younger person, maybe a foster child, a stepchild, somebody that you teach. This person has an impact on you, but it's an impact that reminds you how to have fun, how to be in joy so that you can enjoy your life. It feels like it's bringing you back. It's really interesting with this Dagaz rune and the Ivar's rune. What they're showing me is this experience of reconnecting with a sense of your own inner child that not only heals a part of your past or brings more awareness to it, but also brings that joy and that childlike quality back into your present day self. And it's very, very healing. And, you might feel like it's not possible to move forwards right now, but it is. And flow and doing what you can do when it can be done, but recognizing you can't be on your problems all the time. You are not your problems. They can become all consuming until we have them resolved, where in reality, things can take months to find a resolution sometimes. And you can't be, well, we can, and we do, but it's not always healthy for us to be on the problem all the time when things take their natural course here with Dagaz in order to come to resolution. So there's very much this sense of being in flow and allowing time to progress for all the parts of the machine to catch up and work in unison so that you can have that sense of freedom, of peace, of joy in a present moment. Perhaps not every present moment. Few of us can do that, but in a moment, and maybe one moment a day, try finding that when you breathe, you really reconnect into your body, out of the mind, and you really tune into your sense of bliss or what you appreciate or the gratitude or love that you have for something that happened during that day. And it can be a really, really powerful practice. But for you, Pole 1, your entire reading shows that you're a very, very strong person. You are very determined. You are very diligent. You work hard. You have been working hard on yourself and you've been fighting a lot of fires. But it feels like something is going to shift, whether that's a new person coming into your life, a new partnership, maybe somebody else is employed within your business. Or like I said, maybe a younger energy, a childlike energy comes into your life. And either way, it's going to ask you to release a little bit of the load that you've been carrying to allow you to have more fun. And I know some of you might be thinking that's impossible. There's no way that's going to happen, but it's absolutely possible. And this is the message that's coming through right now. Now we're going to use the Lemurian Star Child Oracle to get a couple of cards just for your message and guidance for moving forwards. Oh, I love this. This is a new deck to me, and new decks are always quite stiff. And I think I've got quite cold hands, so they often go everywhere. So let's get a couple of cards for the best advice for you moving forwards. What can help Pole 1 moving forwards through these energies at this time? Ether and matter. I love this. And again, we've got this repeated kind of infinity symbol that reminds me so much of the Dagaz rune here. This recognition of the physical body, of the matter, of everything that we see and witness, but recognizing that not only are we that, not only is that real, but we are also the spirit. We are also the life force of the universe that ripples between all things. So it's remembering that you are both. It's remembering to find that lightness, the lightness of ether in your daily life. Allow it to flow through you, even and through the breath as well. So breath work could be really important, because we do have the answers rune, which very much is the divine breath of all consciousness that flows within us, and the ecstasy of spiritual connection, when we find that connection to what all that is beyond the physical matter and all of the stresses and the problems we might be feeling. So really give yourself a little bit of time every day. Pile number one, tune into your spiritual self, allow that energy to flow through you. Definitely be around water if it helps, because we've got lots of water energy here. And just tune into you, you know, the real you, the fun, that sense of you that loves to have fun. And just, you know, take it easy on yourself, because you work really hard. Don't forget to play hard too. So I hope you enjoyed this reading, pile one. I'll wrap this up here for you. If you did, feel free to subscribe. It would be wonderful to have you here and back for future readings. All of my information is in the description box below. And I will see you again another time. Sending you lots of love. Take care. Hi there, pile number two. If you were drawn to this card within, then this is your reading. And interestingly, just as I was getting everything ready to begin your reading, I looked over and I noticed this shell, this absolutely beautiful shell that was gifted to me. And what was interesting is it instantly gave me this message. It's listening to the call within the way you would listen to a seashell. And I spent some time with one of my nephews yesterday, and he was listening to the seashells, listening to the sea. And I thought, it's taking that time to tune in, to go within, and to listen to that inner voice. It's coming back within for you at the moment here. And I mean, this looks like a wheat field, but it also reminds me of lavender, just because of the colors that have been used. And obviously lavender is very, very calming. It's very, very peaceful. So there is this sense of, perhaps if things are troubling you, there is a call here to listen, to go within, to receive some kind of wisdom and guidance, and hopefully we'll be able to bring some more of that through for you. And I just looked up and it was 2222. So again, another message for those of you that love angel numbers. We're going to do some runes. These can be a little bit noisy, so if you have sensitive hearing or wearing headphones, you might just want to take them off or turn the video down just for a moment whilst I draw these. And then anything that lands face down, I'm going to remove off the table, because we're not going to use it for the purpose of the reading. And then what's left, I will arrange into a grid for your reading. Interestingly, we've got 3 on the bottom. I love it. Let's get these positioned into a good grid for you. Hopefully you can see these and the video quality is okay. Right, we begin the reading with Kanaz, and if there is a reading, Kanaz is the rune of the torch, and I know there are some other connotations to this depending on the interpretation of the original text, the rune poems. But for me, this very much speaks of the guiding light that helps us to find our way, whether this is internal, whether this is external. So you could very much, again, tying in with the looking within and listening to that call from within, looking or asking for a sign right now. And we might actually get some much clearer messages that are coming through with regards to what that specific sign may be, or guidance for what it is that you're asking for assistance with. Now, you could have been in a situation that has felt very, very stuck, that has caused a lot of frustration, and you might have seen a lot of the different spectrums of human behavior and polarity, with Ivas here, with Nauthis and Lagus in the reverse. Things could have felt stuck. You could have felt almost, there's a few different messages. You yourself, they almost don't want me to say this first, because they don't want this to put you off, because it won't be for everybody. But there is this sense here of holding on to a situation. And this could be a situation that is causing you a great deal of inner frustration. Nauthiz is the rune of need fire. It is a sense of inner calling, but something that often comes from frustration. I like to equate it most simply to hunger. You know, hunger is a primal impulse, it's a primal desire in all creatures. They are hungry, so they will go and hunt, they will find food to satiate that hunger. Nauthiz represents our need for something in our lives, whether that is an experience, an emotion, whether it's a substance, even, or a person. It represents that driving primal need to attain something that can leave us feeling very frustrated and focused on the lack or absence of having it in our lives. And coupled with Ivars and Laguz in the reverse, Laguz is typically the rune of flow, which would be very much the sense that we were getting with pile number one. But here we have, you know, this oppositional energy, and it's asking you to look at whatever hasn't been flowing in your life. What hasn't been flowing, what hasn't been working out, what hasn't been going so well. Have there been challenges or complications? Have there been difficulties? Have you felt very stuck in a situation that's just kept going over? The same cycle keeps repeating. And again, I want to state that that energy, that final energy I just mentioned of the cycles that keep repeating, aren't necessarily the same cycle day by day. It could be the sense of frustration at repeating cycles that seem to occur as themes within our lives through different people, through different experiences, even in different situations. So not just romantically, but within all relationships, including colleagues or families or business partners. Often, those kinds of repeating experiences are our greatest life lessons. They come to us for a reason and ask us to look within. They're asking us to self-reflect, to find the awareness of what it is that isn't working or potentially needs to change. And whilst we might not want to do that, it's very hard to do some of this work sometimes. It actually creates the greatest growth. It creates the inner enlightenment that helps us to move forwards. And we've got a whole lot of stuck energy here, if I'm honest with you. And I get the sense if this reading is for you, this could well have been how you're feeling, even if you might not like to admit it sometimes. I'm not trying to tell you how you feel, but it's more that sense of you just get on with it. You just keep doing it. You get on, you keep going. Again, kind of similar to pile number one, but yours feels different in that you want things to change. You want a different experience, perhaps. And there is a sense here of maybe not wanting to take a chance on something. Maybe you haven't been taking action on something. This isn't a roast. I mean this with the deepest love. You know, there is sometimes places where we stand in our own way. We stand in the way of our own progress. We can hold on to situations that might be toxic or challenging, things that actually don't help us or serve us or enable us to grow. But there can be a lot of love there. And it's not to say that love is wasted or in vain. Love is love. Love is never a waste of time. Loving somebody truly is a very beautiful quality. It's what makes the world go round in all of the energetic senses. But when that love, or when, it's not the love, sorry, it's when our connection or reliance or feeling stuck in a situation means that we stop ourselves from growing, from unfurling into our natural potential and becoming everything that we're destined to be, we get that sense of feeling stuck. We stop taking action. We begin to feel like we've lost who we are. We begin to feel like we don't know where we're going or what we're doing because a part of us feels like we have to give ourselves up in order to give ourselves to something else. And then somebody else or something else gets the best of us because we love. And this is a reminder that self-love matters too, and that you matter too, and your life matters too, and your dreams and your visions and your goals and everything that you hoped and still hope life will be matters. It matters more than you will ever know. And there is this sense of something awaiting you. There is blessings awaiting you. Something that you might actually receive. For some of you, it could be a gift of some kind, and that doesn't have to be a monetary gift that helps you on your way. For some of you, it could be the gift of maybe a piece of equipment or an object or something, a book, something that sparks something within you that then gives you this feeling of I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to grow. I feel that sense of inner struggle, like the snake that has outgrown its skin. And there's nothing wrong with snakes. I know they've got a difficult connotation because of the Bible, but they're truly incredible creatures. When we look at the ways in which they become so confined in their present form, desiring to grow, desiring to reach their next form, as it were, their next representation of self, grown, developed into a greater version of themselves. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with who we are in the present, but this greater sense of who we are. We struggle. We have to shake off that skin, and that is a process of struggle. It's the same as the caterpillar in the cocoon. There is a sense of all of a sudden recognizing that it's time to shift, to change form. And I feel like there is some sort of wisdom that's coming through here. There is definitely a sense of inner wisdom. There could be an ancestral wisdom. And that sounds like a bit of a lofty thing sometimes, but ancestral wisdom can suddenly come through as a repeated phrase that a family member used to say to you, or something that they used to live life by. Maybe there is this sense of, I'm sorry, I'm just going to have to pause the video because the light's flickering. Bear with me a sec. Sorry, guys, that was bothering me. And when I unpaused it, I realized the time was 32:32. So another interesting angel number. These ancestral messages could be something that an ancestor or family member used to say to us. Maybe it's a repeated phrase or theme, and it doesn't even have to be a family member. I'm going to go a bit off tangent maybe here, but sometimes, especially when we're children, maybe our heroes have a catchphrase, like Batman or Superman or something like that, something that's relevant to you. And all of a sudden it comes through to you and you remember this sense or this feeling of, yeah, you know what, I can do this. I want to do this. There is so much more that I want to achieve or to have or to do. And I'm ready for this. And you get that very strong, almost inner moment of clarity, this canal's energy that somehow comes from within. And it's like somebody has just gifted you with the exact message that you needed in order to help you to move forwards, to order to help you to move. That if there is this sense of feeling stuck, of feeling scared almost, or like there is no way you can create change or be a positive change or force in your life, this is a very strong message that, it's time to look within and to call your power back to you from any sources where it may have been over-invested in. And we can over-invest in our negative inner dialogue through worries, through fears, through concerns. And conversely, like I said about positive reinforcement messages from our ancestors, actually, we can have that in the negative sense. And if somebody constantly said something that was negative to us, then that's something that we can carry with us and that we can remember. And then that becomes part of our self-identification, our self-concept, our idea of who we are. And this is a reminder from the universe right here that you are so much greater than you see or believe. And I genuinely feel that your self-confidence could have been damaged. Something could have knocked your confidence over the last few months. And the universe wants to remind you that there is so much more out here for you, inside of you. And actually, I feel like for you, the most important message is to go within and to reconnect with a dream, with all of your dreams, with your inner vision of what you wanted life to be. And not in a sense of, oh, I'm never going to have this. I've failed. I've missed the boat. You know, you look at certain actresses, like Helen Mirren, she became an actress later in life, I believe. And there's all kinds. I don't know why that one example came through. Sorry, it's a really random one for me. There is all kinds of people that find their way into their dream life, into their passion, into the things that they love much later on in their life. There is never a wrong time. Universally, there is a right time for you to amass a certain level of life experiences or specific life experiences. And sometimes it literally drives us into this feeling of frustration and malthus, into that feeling of lack, in order for us to experience the contrast of our dreams. And we've lived the life where we don't fulfill them. We've lived it. We've done that. We know how it feels. And then we use IVARs. We look at what the opposite would look like. What would the opposite experience of this look like? How would that feel? How can I create even small daily changes to become more of that and less of what I've already experienced within that contrast? So these experiences are vital. This time in your life will have been vital, pile number 2. It's never, you haven't missed the boat, you're not too late. And if you're feeling stuck, sit with that stuckness for a while. Ask yourself some of those questions. What if I could do anything right now? What would I do? Who would I be? What job would I do? Or would I have no job at all? Would I be an entrepreneur? Would I be a philanthropist? How do I want to live this life? How can I serve others? How can I serve humanity? How can I be the greatest version of myself? You know, sit and journal or meditate or whatever you love to do, and get to the heart of these questions deep within you. And once you start really feeling into that, you will reawaken that part of you that wants to live that life, that has that dream. And then the process is in convincing ourselves, little by little, that not only is that dream possible, but it's what we're here to do. So part number 2, I feel like you're at a really pivotal point of transformation that's going to be very illuminating and eye-opening for you. It's going to lead to so much growth. And definitely with Gibru here, love and blessings. There is love that you are going to experience. And when I say blessings, it's abundance of all kinds. Abundance of positive emotion, like a cascade of feeling incredible about who you are and what you're doing. And that's possible for you. You know, this hair, his head is downturned and he's looking down and it's almost sorrowful. And sometimes we literally have to get to that point in life to ask ourselves, what do I need to do? What do I want to change? And then bit by bit, we make that change. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't often happen all in one go. It's day by day, the little bit of changes that's pulling our focus back onto, no, I'm building this dream. I know I'm going to get here. I know I'm following this, pursuing this. I know it's going to happen. And little by little, you move forwards, you grow, and you make progress. Now we're going to use the Lemurian Star Child Oracle, and we're going to get an oracle card or 2 for you, whatever comes out as the guidance for this and how you can work with it. The joy of life. I love that. And I've just noticed inner child attunement down here. You know, there is a big message here from your inner child. The child in you that would dream, that would be excited about all of the potentials. You know, this cup is full of all of the wonders of our life. And that is within us. That exists within us. That key to our greatest joy, fulfillment, and self-expression lies at the heart of what we're experiencing that is not that. When we recognize where in our life we feel stuck or frustrated, we have the power to find the inner antidote to that and living in a way that feels far more fulfilling and enriching to us, both as individuals, but as a collective as well. So pile number 2, I'm going to leave this here for you. I hope this reading benefited you. I hope there was some useful wisdom in here for you. Thank you for spending your time with me. If you enjoyed it, then please feel free to subscribe, and all of my information is in the description box below. If you'd like to check out my artwork and other things that I make and create in my workshop, or if you'd like to look at personal readings, and feel free to send me an email at any point. Sending you lots of love. Thank you for spending your time with me, and I will see you again in another reading. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome. I hope you're ready for this. I'm feeling a very strong sense of spiritual awakening, tuning into your higher self, into the higher realms and dimensions, into the deepest ancestral wisdom, into the primal essences of the earth, receiving those codes and beautiful inspirations and wisdom that is going to help you to grow and become empowered. Not just in this physical life, but in all senses of your understanding of existence. You know, transformation here. This is a powerful one. I love the imagery on this card. It's like the antlers here remind me very much of the Alchemist rune, which does actually connect to the elk and to its antlers. And there is this sense of reaching up into the ethers to be able to tune in, very much like we have in this symbology, into the to the everythingness of everything, beyond this physical life, and within it we're all connected. So with that in mind, I'm going to do your runes. These can be a little bit noisy, so if you're wearing headphones, then you might just want to take them off for a moment. Or if you've got sensitive hearing, just turn it down. As soon as they're drawn, it will be quiet, I promise. Okay. So we're going to remove any of the runes that land face down, and because we're not using them for the purpose of this reading. And then I love this actually, and I am going to keep those two together. I just arranged them into a grid. So I love it when I start getting excited. Okay, interestingly, straight off the bat, we have a very similar runic combination here as we had in pile number 1. And there is a little bit of crossover between all of the piles, which tunes into our collective experiences for sure. I hope that you can see these okay. The lighting isn't the best today, however. You can never really tell until, apologies for adjusting the light mid-reading. You can never really tell until you watch the footage back. So hopefully this isn't too bad, although I am hitting my head on that. Okay, so we have Fehu and Ingvaz at the very, very top of your reading, which is a very powerful combination. Now, Fehu speaks of wealth, and wealth to us, to me, is what we attribute value to. So for some, this could be money, a brand new beginning with money, something that's going to grow, certainly growing your finances, but on a grander spectrum. Wealth being whatever we attribute value to, can relate to any kind of abundance, any kind of thing that we value within our life growing. I can see if you've made an investment in something, I think that this is a message coming through. And interestingly, Ivaz has come out in almost the same position for all of us. You've been investing in something, and you could have been having a lot of contrary experiences to what it is that you actually want to happen, pile number 3. You could have had experiences where maybe you are quite spiritual or interested in manifestation. You've been trying to grow things, manifest things, consciously create your life, trying to work on self-development, on personal discovery, on your spiritual awakening, if you'd like to call it that, whichever way you've come at it from. And you could be feeling now like you've experienced, you've invested a lot of time, effort, love, and energy into this, into building yourself up, into changing your life, into doing all the things. And you might not have received a lot back, if I'm honest with you. You could have had, for some of you, literally, you could have watched as life has fallen apart around you. And you've got this sense of spiritual awareness that this is an old life, and it was almost that sense of necessary death. Because we have Algis in the reverse here, and it's interesting that I was called to Algis before. I was called to Algis most of all before I even called the runes. I'm just looking forwards and going all the way to the end. We have Ansuz in the reverse. Just hold it up so you can see that. I have a feeling, I might be right or I might be wrong, that ever so occasionally you begin to doubt in the spiritual connection, or I'm getting a few different messages. For some of you, because I got the message about being interested in manifestation, some of you could have been very interested in manifesting material things and then have this feeling that that isn't like allowed is the word that's coming through because it's not spiritual. Whereas actually anything that, money is a tool, that can be used. It's a tool that can corrupt. Let's be straight here. But done in the right ways with a level of self-awareness, of spiritual awareness, and a love for humans and humanity and philanthropy, or charity, there is a great deal of good that can be done with money. So there is this sense here of not looking at things in a too literal or black and white sense. You've had to be strong. Quite similarly, we've got a very similar combination of runes here to some of the energies in pile number 1. So you might feel called to that pile as well, but please don't feel that it is necessary. But I can tell you, you are reaching the point at which your hard work is paying off. And you might not see it. You might not feel it. You might see that there are still mountains to overcome, mountains to climb. But it doesn't mean that you don't have the energy to do it. And actually what you're being guided to do here, pile number 3, is that as you're working on this transformation, as you were doing this deep work and really going through the depths of your own experiences of your own life, maybe experiencing a lot of what it is, maybe the exact opposite of what you want, you're being reminded here to keep connected to your guides, to your God's guides, guardians, angels, ancestors, to the beings that speak to you, that feel like they are listening to you, if that makes any sense, because everybody has their own set of core beliefs as to what that might be. But your spirit team, whoever it is you connect to on the other side, in the higher realms and dimensions, remember that their presence within your life is eternal, is constant. We have to tune in. Sometimes we have to ask for help, to ask for guidance, to ask for support. I'm very, very called here to these details within this card. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see them. Now, they look like transmitters, these little radio transmitters. And what this is saying to me is you've got to put the signal out there. They also reminded me of ladders, and it's like reaching up, going up higher to ask for help, guidance, and support. So there is this sense here of this transformation for you, this really transformational time is asking you, it's calling you to dig deep into your experience